experiment on the 30 square miles that we've identified. And being a numbers girl myself, I figured if we got a 1-inch rainfall, which is not uncommon during the monsoon season in New Mexico, and that water was all absorbed rather than running off. And, you know, New Mexico is a small population state. We have about 2 million people. But that would be the equivalent of all of the fresh water that New Mexico uses in a year.
Yeah, I did the math on evaporation in Namibia, Abe's reminding me, and where you have 85% evaporation from predominantly bare soils, and it's probably pretty similar in Arizona and New Mexico, with limited rainfall. It amounts to a Columbia River going skyward, but we're not usually aware of it because, number one, it's invisible, transparent. You can't litigate fishing rights over it. You can't barge grain on it. You can't sport fish in it. You can't dam it. You can't. It's invisible, and yet it's an equivalent in volume to the Columbia River flowing past Portland. So we're talking huge. And so if anybody doesn't realize the connection between carbon and water, I encourage them to look at this. This is carbon, and it's a huge leverage on the water cycle. Without carbon, we wouldn't have soils. Only very small, rudimentary soils. And photosynthesis, the carbon cycle, brings us the protection and the enhancement and the maintenance of soils, and the building of them too.
I've done some work in the South Bay with restoration, and one of the things that I've heard is kind of a thought that native plants must have low fertility, and that's something that's important in restoration. I'm going to preface this by saying that I don't support this in any way. I'm looking for a way to have a conversation about this. But that important in restoration is to actually strip the fertility off the land so that the natives can recover. Do you have a useful way of having a conversation with that?